Okay, so stuff. The gods. The gods are crazy, right? Let's see, we got something going on in our fortress. What's this? Taxes collected. Nothing new to report. Much longer until our next construction job is done. 1 day, 14 hours. Okay. So, where should we go? Council Stars. Penitents. So that's the sisters. Blah, blah, blah. Destroyed the ground from... I'll have to descend through the pit in the burial aisle. We're not ready for that yet. Oh, I think I was going to do the White March stuff, right? I think we're the right level for that. I don't know much around here is left to do anyway. Been there. Did all that stuff. We're just an old song. I think I did most of the stuff in there. So we want to go up to the White March, I think. That's first DLC, right? How do we get there? Run faster. Now we just click on it and we're there. Village? 2 days. Sure, why not? Priority is considered high level for the content in the White March. If you would like, the critical path can be increased in difficulty to give you more of a challenge. The rewards you receive will be the same regardless of the option you choose. Your choice cannot be changed once it's been selected. It's considered high level for the content. Really? You should have told me about this more. How far did I get into the deep? So like on level 8 or 9 or something like that. Probably should go deeper there too. So I just want to roll around and kill everything. Get loot that's not really that great. Yes. Who needs challenges? Who needs challenge?
Set out for Stalwart. The White March rises up in the distance, stretching to the north and south as far as the eye can see. It beckons to you with peaks like broken fingers. The road thins to a tattered ribbon, and the shadow of the mountains falls across your path. You've barely begun your climb when the darkening sky pummels you with hailstones and turns the ground beneath you to ice. You press on. The air grows thin, and the treacherous mountain passes funnel screeching winds past your ears. A blizzard forces you to make camp for 3 days, huddling for safety while snow piles around your refuge. At last the weather clears, and you approach Stalwart under a crisp blue sky. There's a noise, high and sharp, coming from the village that sounds at first like another frozen gale. But when you top the rise and reach the village's wooden gates, you see what lies beyond them.
Zombies everywhere.
It's Darzier, with a whole pack of them!
We can take these bastards!
I don't think those are zombies. How we doing on weapons? Got the hammer. Keeps good. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah?
Yippee, don't go that way. They're no match for us. Ogres. Need more ogres in our lives. No, we don't.
Light, flame, and sound.
Okay, so wagon. Temple of Ondra. There's 6th house. The Grief's Rest. So it's governor, right? Hot Spring. House. Durgan's Battery. Oh, that sounds familiar. See that? Okay. That's why it was familiar. The music is so dramatic.
Sure.
Look out! More of them by the fishery!
How may I help?
What?
Oh, we have to talk to him still. Oh, I thought we did talk to him.
Gotcha!
Got flanked. Kill the Winter Wolf.
Aye?
Athos. Or what the hell is his name? Keep going with Athos. That's Aloth.
Lavaru, beyond seek!
Thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Hi, villager. Ogres broke through the western stockade. Oh,
Sure.
He got charmed. Smashing his own little friend. Dun. This door appears to be barred from the inside. It does not budge. Guess we're not supposed to go in there yet, then. Fish.
Laying low.
What are we gonna do with all this fish? Bar from the inside. Nobody loves us. Except for the fish. Because we're rescuing all the fish.
Keeping an eye out.
Show them how it's done!
Probably should have went with the higher difficulty, but eh.
Easy does it.
You from Pizza Hut. Pufferfish pizza. It'll last you the rest of your life. Oh, it's only if it's not cooked correctly. It'll be fine otherwise. Balance screen.
How may I help?
Fireball? Oh, look, it's Fireball. Wow, you ran all the way around just to beat the crap
My
out of
thoughts
her.
must flow deeply indeed.
How come they're not joining in? Oh, Cannoneer, that's why. Kill this guy and then we'll go after them.
Aye? Love!
That's a quick charm break. Shit. Tiger Strike of Mine against it, stealing a portion of its resolve in order to enter the fuck down. There we go.
Frero, Seamus! Vi actes vox converano!
Darzir's fallen. Back to the matron now.
Uh-oh. At the matron. You're the one Renegade sent for. She'll want to speak with you. Her house is up just the way, next to the Gruff's Rest. Messenger pants, waving smoke away from his face.
Katie's house is burning. Hurry, they're both in there.
Not my loot.
Help, the hut's coming down.
That will be fine. It's cold out here anyway. You want the fire. Ring. The roof of this hut is almost entirely enveloped in flames, lighting the snow in stark orange hues. Several beams have been reduced to ember-dotted husks. Don't jabba on about the hut. Jabba? Through the hut's threshold, you can see only billowing smoke. Fire roars as it climbs the timbers. The air feels thick and hot, and the building is a maze of flame. Standing in the smoke and navigating the fire will be a challenge. Durance can go. Durance leaps over the burning threshold, plunging out of sight behind a wall of smoke. Inside the house, fire has pitted the walls and beams, and a thick haze rolls through the building. It is hard to see even a few feet ahead, save for the occasional glimpse of glowing embers. Crouch down to avoid the smoke. Durance moves forward through a haze of heat and soot, and the hut groans and shifts as the blaze grows. I still can't read. With the mighty groan, the burning beam comes crashing down. Caught off guard, Durance is pinned beneath the heavy log. Call for help. Durance fights the remaining consciousness, but exhaustion and lack of air do not work. Durance is soon overwhelmed and collapses to the ground. Darkness descends. Oops.
Oops. Is that all you can say? That was really poorly done.
In the haze state of consciousness that follows, the sounds of shouting and the crash of burning timber drift in and out of hearing. Durance wakes up sometime later to find Ader standing nearby, having dragged Durance to safety. Oh, that didn't work.
Gone. Both of them.
Well, what are you going to do? We sent the wrong guy in there. You would think the fire lover would have done better in there. What are we waiting for? I was sure that thing was coming down and taking your friend with it. The man wipes his brow and stares up at the collapsing house. Too bad about the Blancade. His eyes widen as a section of the roof collapses. He looks away, shaking his head. You look like you could use a drink. Take this over to Helfrich's and have one on me. He flips you a couple of flat carved bones. Well, that didn't go so well for them. Guess we should go inside like we're supposed to. Which was where? There. Their goose was cooked? Their goose was cooked as soon as I entered this town. They should have all got up and left. They would have known. They should have known. It's not my fault.
If it's okay, I'm gonna wait by that fire there while you do that thing with the battery.
I shall be discreet.
Building.
Owena! Go check on that Orland. Make sure he don't steal nothing. Never seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it.
Dwarf surveys the crowd, his expression sober despite the half-empty flagon by his hand. He shakes his head and looks at you, remembering himself.
But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word, and I'll give that shifty little Orland the boot.
He nods at you with a gruff camaraderie. What Orland?
Showed up a few days ago. Sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
He squints toward the hall as if daring the Orland to show himself.
Up to no good, I tell ya. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want to ruckus over it.
You could talk to him.
I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. I'm sure you can find a more discreet way of handling the problem.
He gives you a meaningful look. Just a second. I think Mrs. Gimp is calling me. Be right back. Okay, so we were supposed to talk to this guy and get free drinks, weren't we?
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
I'd like to hire some help. Let me see what refreshments you have. Nope. A room? Do we need a room right now? I don't think we need a room right now. Oh, good. Thought we were supposed to get a free drink, though. Look, cheese. So we're supposed to do what? Durgan's battery. Speak with Renegold in her house. To her house, no doubt she has additional information. Oh, I thought she said we're supposed to be here. Overstaying is welcome. Speak to Orlin and Gref's rest. Harold is convinced that Orlin's guest is up no good. That Orlin showed up a few days ago and has been hiding out in one of the rooms. Get rid of him. Don't hurt him, though. You just have to get rid of him. So who are you guys? Hey there, good time when you can watch me trounce Broodwin. Let's see it then. Once, Andred. You won once. What are you playing? Orlan's head. He grins sheepishly. That's her, or what they call it anyhow. Smooth. You pick a target, see? Nose or ears. Nose is worth more, but you've got 2 ears to work with. You get less points the further out from the target you get. So for the mouth and eyes, no points if you miss. Fancy a game? 3 throws each, and whoever gets the most points by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down 50 pans if you will. Sure, why not? It's a little tasteless. Targets again. Nose is worth 10 points, mouth and eyes 5, ears are worth 7. Furs 2, and bearskins 1. So go for the nose. Or the ears. Andrew pulls a throwing knife from his belt, turning it over in his hands. Wagers 50 pans. You in? Yes. Good man, I'll go first, just to show you how it's done. He aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the skin, scoring 1. Andrew walks up to retrieve the knife. Your turn. Aim for the nose. The knife hits the nose, scoring 10. Andrew aims carefully and throws a blade. Hits skin, scoring 1. Andrew walks up to retrieve the knife. Your turn. Aim for the nose. Scoring 10. I think I'm going to win at this route, right? He aims carefully and throws his blade. Scoring 2. Now your turn. Aim for the nose. Aw, mouth for 5. That's 25 for you and 4 for me. Not bad, stranger. You look like you win this one. And gain 100 copper. Here's your prize. Guess I ought to get in some practice. That's easy money.
Ooh, still can't feel my fingers. Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Vera raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in weird wood and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has a taunt, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come from the road.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
Takes a drink, and as she tilts her head back, you see a bruise purpling her jaw and the crimson bloom of scraped knuckles. What exactly happened to you?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. Picked up a good haul, too.
She takes a slow swallow of her beer.
So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us. Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little 4-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
She shakes her head, staring at the embers in the fire pit.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
What are you going to do now? You can't mean to leave those relics behind. I'm sorry to hear about your friends.
That's a kind sentiment. I'll mourn them when I get home. But I've got to retrieve our haul if I'm to have any hope of that. I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
Apprehension creeps into her expression. She stares into her mug, swirling its contents.
But you might be able to get past the Lagervoth. You're light on your feet.
She looks up from her mug, hopeful.
I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
She brushes her nails along the side of her mug as the anxious look returns. Tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's Battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Examine her teeth. As she talks, you notice that her teeth and gums are stained with dark spots. Why are these relics so important to you?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
She scratches the back of her neck. You're gonna find your caravan.
What's left of it should be near Durgan's Battery. If you stumble across the Lagervoth, you'll know you're close.
What do you know about Durgan's Battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row.
She shrugs.
Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
Okay. Hey, Hesse, welcome back. So, gotta go find the troublemaker, right? Or this. Starting the DLC too. Yeah, it told me I'm a kind of too high level to do it. Well, it says I'm higher level than it's supposed to be. I said, I don't care. Should have told me that when I first got it.
Excuse me, was there something you need?
She knits her fingers together and looks intently at the floor. So we're not going to steal stuff in front of her. For standard difficulty too, because less time fighting. Yeah, that was my thinking too. Because they're not getting us extra. I mean, you're not getting anything better, so I mean, it's still the same standard stuff. So there's no real reason
Not to be rude,
draw it out
I'm
longer.
rather busy. Can't you get another room?
Darlin turns and glances past you with a quick, nervous motion. His ears shredded and scalloped at the edges are pressed against his skull. This one's hiding something. His mind is a maze of fear. He sent me to check on you. He thinks you're up to something. He really sent me to check on you. He dislikes Orland, so of course he thinks you're up to something.
What? Oh no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why he'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
He leans around you, peering at the doorway. Who are you talking about?
Devala. That woman. The slaver, she...
He swallows.
I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Devala's one of the best.
His hands tremble as he picks at his worn tunic. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. Can I help?
I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haelmar.
New Haelmar? That's hardly an improvement. He stops himself, eyes wide. I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party, camped west of town.
He worries at a ragged shirt sleeve.
It's got to be Devala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
Sure.
Thank you. But be careful. She wouldn't have come alone.
They never do. Oh, look, food that's not stealing. Go outside, cause trouble out there. Don't see the harm. Building thirsty work.
There's little town left, if there was much of one to begin with.
Figured you'd be out of here in a flash after the fighting died down. Most people don't stick around after they figure out the ogres are making regular visits. I would have helped fight them monsters off, you know, if I didn't think I'd just get in the way. And with you there to handle things, everything turned out well enough, didn't it? Don't see why Havrick's still sour at me.
What's this about Havrick?
Oh, Havrick's the innkeeper over at the Grave's Rest. I may have been hiding in the inn when the fighting started. The raid didn't improve his disposition any. Did you know he has a whole case of Fenland liquor in there? I keep offering to buy it off him, but he says he's saving it up for when the battery's open again. As if we're gonna last that long. Anyhow, he said he'd thrash me up and down the mountain if I didn't leave him be.
Seems reasonable to want to save it for a special occasion. What's so special about this stuff?
They say a single drop changes your life. You'll never want to have a drink of anything else. Probably that's all rubbish, but it's supposed to be very good. It's delusional is what it is. Point of fact, what with you dealing with ogres and everything, maybe you'd, you know, be willing to help me out.
Oh, bravo. Settle indeed.
Havrick keeps all the good stock in the inn cellar. Out of sight, you see. I mean, it's bound to be under lock and key, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss a single bottle. Not with everything that's going on.
What do I get out of this? And what does stealing wine for you have to do with fighting ogres?
Well, Havrick can be a little intimidating when it comes to his beverages. But otherwise, not much, I guess.
What do I get?
I'll pay you for it. I swear it. We'll split my wages. And the bottle, too, if you like. I just want to be able to say these lips have tasted the best the Ishamael Plains have to offer.
We'll see if I have other questions in the meantime. Anyone ever tell you you're a little strange?
Nothing so kind. You try living here a few years and see how you turn out.
Still weird. Okay, so, whose house am I supposed to visit? Renegades? Yeah, I think that's where we're supposed to go next. It's Dr. Renegade. I'm just a messenger. Did I try Pathfinder? Yeah, I played Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. I see a middle-aged woman and a younger man locked in an argument. Both wear clothes streaked with blood and dirt. The young man turns to the woman, a fresh cut visible below his eye.
They've destroyed the stockade, Mother. It's...
Enough. They're gone.
She holds up a hand which says missing the final joint of the ring finger, but it's her voice sharp and steely that silences the young man as he glowers at his toes. As he glowers at his toes, as she turns to you with dark circles under her eyes and a smile pulled taut across her thin lips.
The deliverer of Cadnua. Thank you for making the journey. Abidan knows it's a long one. Well, I'm sure you wagered on a more civilized welcome. Still, we're much obliged for your capable intervention.
She shoots the young man a brief but stern glare. I get both. Are they good? Yeah, they're fine. Pathfinder's better, Wrath of the Righteous is better than Kingmaker, though. Kingmaker is a kingdom management stuff is pretty wonky. So, but yeah, I prefer Wrath of the Righteous much more. The job that he's doing, that's what I'm here for. It's an honor to be called here. There's no trouble. I'm here to help whoever I can.
Then perhaps you can help us find something.
She folds the page in her hand with a quick and merciless pinch. Merciful. Yeah, merciless. I said that right.
Stalwart isn't much more than a grease stain on a map. What roads we've got in the White March are basically tracks in the snow. And for every trader or adventurer that comes through, 3 of our own leave for good. But it weren't always so. There was a time when kings and queens sent their firstborn to these mountains, when the White March was the envy of empires.
Her eyes shine, and for an instant she looks like a much younger woman. How the mighty have fallen. What does this have to do with me? That's all in the past. What an era must have been for the White March. What does this have to do with me?
The Pargrin dwarves transformed the White March once. We could bring some of that greatness back to Stalwart. But we need the White Forge.
She raises the map and taps a spot in the middle of a white and gray expanse.
Of course. Been over 200 years since anyone's felt so much as a summery breeze near it.
She smooths the creased map.
I'm hoping you can do something about that.
She ignores the young man who shakes his head at the crackling logs. How so? Me, work a forge? I've never done anything like that. And why would I do that? How so?
We've been trying to breach Durgan's battery for over a year now. Problem is, the other expeditions can't so much as dent the front door.
She rubs at her fatigue-shadowed eyes. Tell me about these other expeditions. Why the sudden interest in the White Forge?
We're an old mining town. Or we were until the Adirans pulled out and left us with a half-dug mine shaft and something resembling an inn.
She thumps the sturdy wooden wall with her fist.
Since then, it's been a steady decline. You've seen the roads. Isn't much we can produce that the Valians can't ship cheaper.
It is what we do.
But the White Forge... Well, if we could fire it up again and start producing Durgan steel, or something close to it, wouldn't matter if we're in the White March or the Living Lands, business would come.
She folds her arms and gives you a stiff nod. The young man says nothing, but he tosses a sliver of the apple peel into the fireplace. Tell me about these other expeditions.
A dozen different groups have come through at our request, and several more besides. Been hoping that one of them could clear the way through Durgan's battery. But young or old, green or seasoned, it don't seem to matter. They cast their spells, chisel at the door, and search the grounds until they've worn new treads into the old stone. The lucky ones eventually go home. Plenty more find themselves on the wrong side of a blizzard, or an ogre raiding party.
And that's why I need my help.
That's the long and short of it. We're laborers and fisherfolk, not adventurers. But Durgan Steel could put Stalwart on the map again, open up the mines, bring in new business. We just need the White Forge.
She thumps the desk with her fist. Why is Durgan Steel so special?
Because you can shave stone with it, cleave cast iron in two, and the stuff's as rare as it is remarkable.
In her enthusiasm, Renegade Guild shifts on the balls of her feet. She props one bent arm on the other, pointing distractedly toward the eaves of the house. Pelagina, steel is steel. It may be light and it may take an edge well, but per Complaca, the legend grows with each passing year.
If we could make something even half as good, we'd have a market at our doorstep and work enough for all of Stalwart.
For a split second, her gaze flickers to Eldrick. How's it no one's gotten into Durgan's battery yet?
Where should I start? Ogres, blizzards, or sheer damned inaccessibility?
She ticks the items off on her fingers.
It ain't for lack of trying, I'll tell you that much. Got untold riches in Durgan steel lying just inside, and never mind the White Forge itself. The Adirans who first settled Stalwart tried to crack it. So did the Valians, and every other cocky adventurer with more metal than sense.
She folds her arms, shaking her head at a pitted floorboard.
But the place has a funny way of sealing itself up. Front door stays shut. The tower entrances are clogged with rubble. and it's been impossible to blast a way in.
Renengill trails off, and for a moment the room is silent but for the popping and cracking of the fire. What happened to Durgan's battery?
It don't bear dwelling on. There's too many superstitions about that place as it is.
She waves her mangled hand in a broad crescent, averting her gaze.
Killed each other off, or so the old books say.
He glares at Renengill through hooded eyes.
Plenty of tales to go around, but none of them open the battery. And the last thing people need is another reason to fear the place. Whatever it was, the other Pargrin dwarven settlements in the White March, Bone Picker, the Hawk, and the rest, emptied out not long after, moved to gentler, greener lands.
Had the right idea, if you ask me.
I don't see why you need the White Forge to make good steel.
Finally, someone talking sense.
Raises his knife and half-peeled apple to the fire in a dramatic gesture of exasperation.
Durgan's steel wasn't just good. It was some of the best. We need the best if we're going to keep Stalwart alive.
She glares at Eldrick even when she speaks to you.
No one alive today has seen the White Forge, but the old stories tell that it was powerful, glowed white-hot, and gave off a steady, even heat, unlike any other furnace. Let better-schooled folk puzzle over how the thing was built. I just want to see it put to use.
Tell me about the dwarves.
Pargrin's a word in their language. Means traveler. They've been wanderers for generations, but I couldn't tell you much more.
All right, any idea where I should begin?
The battery's up the mountain to the north. A good hike away.
She jerks her head in the direction of the slope behind the house.
Near Galvino's place, huh?
Eldrick says it in a breezy tone, but Renengill falls suddenly silent, consternation hardening the lines of her face. He smiles and draws his knife across the apple again.
So it is. Though I was going to suggest dealing with that ogre camp before anything.
She compresses her thin lips into a frown. Who's Galvino?
Mestre Galvino, as the old crosspatch prefers it. Lives by himself and keeps the wilder and beasts at bay through sheer foulness of his temper.
She means to say he's a skilled smith and animancer, who's lived in the shadow of Durgan's battery for over a decade.
He looks over his shoulder at you and Renengill. And by Animacy's flimsy standard, that makes him an expert, does it? He folds his arms.
And he butters his bread on both sides and fits his left shoe before his right. But that's neither here nor there.
She crosses her arms and crumples the page in one tightening fist. And he seemed flustered all of a sudden. Did he do something to anger you?
Me and the rest of the town. He knows better than to linger at our gates.
What happened with Galvino?
Old lunatic finally went too far. And we sent word to the Valiant Academies. I don't like speaking on it, but if you want to get his guff, just remind him that we gave him the boot.
I see.
Ain't nobody here fond of the man, but he's a clever hand and a quick study. It's a fool who thinks he stayed so close to the battery without figuring something about it.
You said as much to the last party, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since. Maybe they didn't run afoul of Baragon's ogres after all.
She raises a gray eyebrow at him. Eldrick shrugs and turns back to the fire.
Just watch your step. Galvino's place is a ways east of the battery, and folk who pass it bring unsettling tales.
Tell me about the ogre camp.
Belongs to Flames That Whisper, Matron Baragon's clan. Hunters tell me they've been active of late.
Hunting elk and otherwise minding their own damn business.
He pops an apple wedge into his mouth and chews it aggressively.
Minding their own business. Never mind the latest expedition's disappearance, or the broken stockade.
She pinches the bridge of her nose, squinting.
I'm saying we shouldn't agitate him further.
He makes to toss another slice of peel into the fire, but he fumbles and drops the knife. He bends to pick it up, cursing. What does his matron have to do with anything? I'm glad to confront Bergen if it's to help Stalwart.
One less matron would make our walls safer. What's left of them, anyway. Also, Baragons like to have whatever the last expedition found. Rumor has it they disappeared near her turf.
She crosses her arms and looks over to Eldrick.
Killing a matron will only make our problems worse. The way to approach Baragon is with your hands held high.
If anyone could parley with an ogre, I suppose it'd be you. But they aren't known for their patience with prattle.
Got it.
Good. Before you leave town, stop by the Grave's Rest. Most visitors to Stalwart spend some time there, so Hafric and his patrons may be able to give you the lay of the land.
Hey there, don't know about you, but I'm parched all of a sudden. Actually, I want to ask you about something.
What's on your mind?
Can you tell me about the various expeditions? I have questions about Durgan's battery. No, I don't. Actually, I need to know more about the stalwarts. Can you tell me anything about the last expedition? No, I'm all good with all that stuff. Books.
Ooh. I see where you're going with that.
Shit. Yeah, we won't worry about stealing stuff from her. Maybe later.
Been looking everywhere for you.
The man is sweating despite the cold. He opens his mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a loud, hacking cough. He bends forward, bracing his hands on his thighs while he heaves and gasps. After a lengthy duration, he raises a finger, still panting. All Hafric's fault. Damn fool sent me to the other side of town looking for you.
Hello, Gimpy. It is time to take a break. Go get some more water while you are up. This break supports the purchase of Rocket's treats. If you would like to help Rocket feel like a puppy again, please visit gimpyknee.com/support or type !treats in chat. Thank you. The stream ends in 1 hour.
Let's finish this real quick. Looking for you. At last he stands again. He wipes his dripping brow with the back of his hand and then offers the hand to you in greeting. Shake his hand. Pleasure to meet you. Now we're going to get the flu watch. Or COVID. In the end, captain of the militia around here. Nice to meet you. Really? I didn't see you during the yoga attack. What's this about? Nice to meet you. Wanted to catch you before you went running off into the wild. See, there is a few dangerous folk you might be on the lookout for. Plus, if you're heading off out to Longwatch Falls, I thought you might could pick up a thermal pearl for me. He looks away and twists the toe of his boot into the snow. You want me to find a thermal pearl for you? Something about a dangerous folk. The pearl. That's the thing. I already found it. I just need someone else to go out get it. Saw it in the hot springs out near Longwatch Falls. I would have grabbed it myself, but that's when I looked around and saw the Lagafath, whatever, must have been 50 of them. He spreads his arm wide. I would have fought, but I started to wonder what the rest of Stalwart would do without me, so I ran, for the sake of the village, of course. What is a thermal pearl, anyway? They form in the hot springs, something to do with all the minerals in the water. They smell kind of funny, but they're full of minerals. Just have to crumble them into a pint. He grins, and you notice that his gums are bleeding. I see. What are you talking about? Just trying to keep my teeth as long as I can. This game and fish diet ain't easy on anyone. Like I said, the Pearls is one of the thermal pools near Longwatch Falls. Shouldn't be hard to spot. Tell me about the falls. It's east of Stalwart. Got some nice views of the valley, but most folk avoid it these days. Plenty of wilder nearby, and it only takes a few inches of snow to block the pass. If you're heading out that way, I'd suggest talking to Thirsk. Thirsk? He's might have something to help you deal with that Lagufer faith. Anyway, whatever they're supposed to do. That's all I need to know. He said something about dangerous folk. We get our share of crazies out here. Most of them aren't even from the village. He laughs at his own joke. Latest groups I heard of were the Gleaming Society and the Sisterhood of the Slaked Skull. But Remingfield set aside some bounty money to see what these troublemakers were taking care of. So see that these stricken are taken care of. You bring me the heads of their leaders and I'll give you the payment. Them crazy pack of radicals that wants to topple the governments and kill the wealthy. Makes the War of Defiance look like a food fight. Duke Avar and the Regent of Riatsieros both declared them illegal, which is probably the only thing those two would agree on. Or would have before all that murder and mayhem in Defiance Bay. He frowned, scratching the back of his neck. Anyway, check Longwatch Falls to the east. That's where they were last seen. About the Sisterhood. That'll be Metzla. All the members of the Sisterhood worship Barath by sending as many folks back to the wheel as they can. He shivers. They've been poking around Durgan's battery, and Whale only knows why. But you can understand why no one here was pleased to hear about it. Passed through town recently. Didn't stay long, but they stopped at the Temple of Andra. You might see if Lafta knows anything. If you come across them, be careful. They're unpredictable. Let's talk about something else. I think we're good. Okay, so. Dun dun dun. Unfortunately, we're going to have to start the stream an hour early today, simply because when Mrs. Gimpy came home a couple minutes ago, she brought dinner with her, so I don't like eating cold dinners. So, I'm going to end it here a little early, and thank you very much for coming out and watching. Much appreciated. Again, sorry for this was unexpected, but food. If you're here specifically for Pillars of Eternity 1, we'll be playing this again tomorrow, as well as Sunday and Monday and next Tuesday. We'll be playing the Pillars of Eternity 1 until we finish it, and then we move on to Pillars of Eternity 2, because I haven't played that one either. This is my first playthrough of this, and having fun doing it. So, and like as you can see, we've moved on to the DLC for now, even though we're technically a little over level for it, because we are currently made our level 10 earlier today, at the beginning of the stream. So apparently that's a couple levels high, I guess. But anyway, that's it. What else? Oh yeah, stream schedule for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, of course, more Pillars of Eternity 1. Wednesday and Thursday is Oblivion Remastered. Friday is Solasta multiplayer with Jeff Hobo and Hurricane. Saturday is Star Wars The Old Republic. And then Sunday and Monday are Pillars of Eternity 1. So anyway, that's it. Thank you all very much for watching. I screwed myself up. Thank you all very much for watching. Tomorrow's stream starts at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT for some more Pillars of Eternity 1. Have a great evening, great day, wherever you happen to be. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.